While researching a lost media piece to make a video on, I received an email from a viewer named Sam H. stating this. Hello, Riley. I was hanging out with my brother as of recently and he mentioned Jumpy Pop. Instantly, that name brought back tons of memories of me and him logging onto our family computer on late summer nights and playing the game. I recently discovered that the game is almost completely lost. There are only brief video clips online. This has puzzled me considering that the game was huge in the late 2000s to early 2010s. I have sent you the links to the videos I uncovered. However, I think you're more qualified to handle a lost media piece such as this. This immediately intrigued me considering that I even had memories with this game. So feel free to join me as I cover the forgotten Flash pet game, Jumpy Pop. Blue Green Games released on September 15, 2007. They initially released a demo game for what is now known as Jumpy Pop. The demo was bare bones and only included one minigame and 3 jumpies to choose from. This build of the game is currently lost. The official Jumpy Pop game was released on Blue Green Games on September 19, 2007. Due to the demand of Jumpy Pop at launch, the site suffered many outages, causing Blue Green Software to create a separate website for the Jumpy Pop game titled jumpypop.com. It has been reported that they released a separate build for the new Jumpy Pop website. The original Blue Green Games version hardly got any coverage, leaving only a few screenshots roaming around the internet. Jumpy Pop was so successful that they were able to promote movies and brands in the game, typically by giving a player a themed item based around the partnership. The history behind Jumpy Pop, let alone Blue Green Software, is scarce. Looking up the Blue Green CEO only comes up with the name Jared Fields. And upon further research of Jared Fields, I found out that he unfortunately passed away on January 19, 2014, at the age of 34. When I started digging for answers, I found an article from a local Louisiana news outlet. The biggest thing I took away from that was that Blue Green Games headquarters was based in Louisiana, and that there was a third member of the team known as Quinn Sullivan. I couldn't find any important details about this person, but I did receive yet another email from Sam H. I found a video showcasing the Jumpy Pop website back in 2007. The video had what appeared to be Quinn Sullivan narrating footage of them browsing the Jumpy Pop website. The footage was poor quality, but what could you really expect from a 2007 video? The video cuts off at the 1 minute and 10-second mark at a black screen. It is an interesting relic to say the least, and I recommend watching the video yourself, the link being in the description of this video. There seemed to be no possible way to get a hold of Quinn Sullivan. There was no social media account connected to the YouTube channel that had posted the video. It seemed like a dead end. I had gotten a few friends to help find some details about Jumpy Pop, and in result we ended up finding and archiving jumpypop.com, so you can now visit the website yourself. Unfortunately, a key component to the website was missing. A very important aspect to the website, the game. I spent hours desperately trying to look around the internet for any new information about Blue Green Games and Jumpy Pop, but to no avail. I looked at old abandoned forums, Reddit threads, and everything. It all seemed futile. I then decided to post a tweet in a last desperate attempt to see 2 things. 1, to see if anyone remembered this old game, and 2, to see if anyone knew someone who worked on the game. A few hours passed after I posted the tweet and it stayed relatively silent. However, there were a few people in the replies reminiscing on their memories with the game, which is always nice to see. And then, I get a DM from someone whom I have not mentioned yet. Toby Darren, the co-founder of Blue Green Software and Blue Green Games. I couldn't believe it. One of the people who had made up a lot of my childhood had just DM'd me and agreed to an interview. Has working for Blue Green at a young age affected you at all?
Wow, you sound like my therapist. Well, not as great as some people would think. I was 18. I thought I owned the world. I was a pretty entitled kid. I remember first getting a paycheck from Blue Green, and I always grew up from a family of means. But I had to work. So getting all this money at 18, it really boosted my confidence and probably my stupidity too.
What did Jared Fields mean to you, and how did his death impact you?
Well, as you know, I cut ties with Jared in 2011 when that Jumpy Pop game really began taking off. It was all too corporate for me, if that makes any sense. I guess that's a little hypocritical of me to say now, considering I own a business, but yeah. Me and Jared, we weren't exactly like best friends close. It was more of a business relationship. We never really talked outside of meetings and that kind of stuff. But when I heard about his death, I mean, initially it didn't faze me or anything. I was like, oh yeah, of course that had happened at some point. Because in my mind at the time, Jared and I had a bit of a rocky relationship. Lots of money-related junk and just a whole lot of drama. But it wasn't until about a year later that it all started to hit me. I felt selfish for acting that way when he passed. And in a weird way, I started to miss him. You know, we met in 2007 on some old forum website. I was just happy to have a friend growing up. Growing up, I mean, it was a struggle for me to build bonds. We started talking about heavy business at the start of 2008. We began taking a keen interest in the whole business aspect of what we were doing. We called all the time through Skype and talked to friends and... man, sorry, just lots of memories are flooding back to me now and...
That's all right. Another question. How did Jumpy Pop come to fruition?
It's all kind of a blur now, but I built this silly little demo for this game called Jumpy Pop, okay? And the idea was really stupid originally. I mean, you know, all about this little species called Jumpies. And, you know, they were these nuclear-powered gremlins, and it was just really insane looking back on it. Also, here's a fun little fact for you that I don't think anyone else knows. Jumpy Pops were originally called portals. So there's a nice little nugget of information for you for your little exclusive interview here.
Do you think there are any remaining copies of Jumpy Pop? And if so, where do you think they would be?
I doubt it. Last I heard, after Jared's passing, Quinn decided to shut down Blue-Green for good and, you know, leaving all those games behind. You know, it's really unfortunate. I'm not sure if Jared directly told her to do that, or if she just thought it would be a good idea in his memory.
If it's not rude of me to ask, could you maybe tell me more about who Jared Fields was as a person?
Yeah. He was quite the ambitious fella. His first game idea was this huge MMORPG. I had to snap back to reality about that one for sure. Like I said before, I never really got to know him personally. I do know, you know, probably shouldn't talk about it actually. My bad.
I originally started this video as a journey to attempt to find a Flash game lost to time. However, I ended up getting more than that. I got to speak to an important figure who developed this amazing piece of a lot of people's childhood. But beyond that, I got to learn about the man who allowed it all to happen. There may be some unanswered questions, and who knows, maybe the game will be found one day. But I'm just glad I was able to be a part of it all. Thank you to Jared, Toby, and Quinn for giving us all memories we can cherish forever.